Hello guys, I'm back, Coding is back, and today we're gonna be talking about Bootstrap. So what is Bootstrap? Bootstrap is essentially an HTML and CSS framework, and what we'll be doing is we'll be covering all of the basics of Bootstrap, some of the most common elements that you might see. So it's an HTML and CSS framework. So a framework is essentially taking the particular language, adding particular functions to it, and then basically converting it to a setup of its own. So what Bootstrap essentially does, it has specific HTML and CSS classes to format the entire layout of the page as required by the user. So it's really powerful and it really helps to give an amazing look to your page without having to add much CSS at all. So and yep, that's the introduction of Bootstrap. And now I want to ask you, are you pursuing any hobbies? What do you do when you're bored in the current lockdown period, etc., etc.? Leave them down in the comments. It'll be an interesting discussion, and then I'll be I'll be watching over, talking to you people. It's gonna be quite fun, and yep. So in case you like this sort of content and like some of my other videos, hit the like button, subscribe to my channel, and hit the notification bell for other content, which is going to be released out. It's going to be given soon, and I'm going to be starting a project. Okay, it's going to be a really simple project, and we have done some projects until now, such as animating font awesome icons. Those are essentially mini projects, but I'm going to be giving one full-scale project in Bootstrap. It's going to be a weight converter app. That's going to be in the next video, but we're going to start by understanding what Bootstrap is first. So let's start off, and where is my Google? Okay, yep. So let's just start by typing Bootstrap. Apparently now you know it's actually getbootstrap.com. So this is essentially Bootstrap, quickly design and customize responsive mobile first sites with Bootstrap, the world's most popular front-end open source toolkit, featuring Sass variables and mixins. What a Sass essentially is, it's a pre-compiler of CSS. It lets you get styles just like CSS, but that's going to be reserved for another video in the future. I don't know when, so don't quote me on that. So this is essentially Bootstrap. So what you could do is you could download it locally, and then every time you won't have to actually do anything to actually get Bootstrap. You could just import it via npm, which is a package manager, and it helps you get your stuff. But for that, you have to install Nodejs. So Nodejs it's a really important language too. But what is this? It says Black Lives Matter. Let me go back to my Node.js. This isn't Node.js. Okay, let's go to Node.js download. Yeah, a little better. So it's recommended for most users. I have the current one, so you can install whatever you want, and then you'll get npm, and using that you could import Bootstrap. But that's not the way I do, or at least recommend you to do. I essentially click on get started and basically copy this link tag, and it's a lot easier to do that rather than downloading it and then importing it via npm and all of that. So I'm just gonna create an index.html, and that's the only file we'll be needing. We could just use dynamic styling. If you remember what it is, if you don't, check out my CSS crash course, which is going to be linked in the cards right now. And since this is a crash course, essentially, I'm not going to be going over the very minor details. I'm using a plugin called Emmet, which allows me to do this. It's already installed in Visual Studio Code, so you don't have to do anything. And exclamation shift 1, which is going to be exclamation point, and hit tab, and that generates all of this head body layout for you. and I get started. So I'm gonna just be pasting that link tag that I got, and I'm gonna be saving that. So I'm just gonna type hello world. Open this up with live server. Just you see the font has already changed due to me importing Bootstraps. So Bootstrap has essentially a collection of fonts, themes, backgrounds, etc. And there are actually Bootstrap or Bootswatch themes which you can use to build whatever you want. So Bootswatch is also a theme. It provides you themes for web development and generating your UI. And these are essentially Bootstrap themes for whatever you want to or whatever you want to use. They have preset fonts, backgrounds, and that sort of stuff, but you can change it and all of that. I don't actually use Bootstrap themes that much because it's certainly a lot better to start things out from scratch. And yeah, I find that a lot better. So this is hello world. I'm just gonna put some style tags in here in case we require CSS. Okay, and then I'm just gonna start with our usual styling. Oops. Negate the margins, padding, and box sizing of border box. Once that's over, you could just leave it as it is for now. But I'm just gonna give it a dark body color. It'll be nice. So I'm gonna make this sort of like a sheet or a chart which you can refer to for basics of Bootstrap. I'm going to be covering like cards, forms, and all that. There's a lot more into it in the documentation that I'm going to be showing. That's also going to be linked in the description as well as this code. So yep, let's get started. I'm just going to do background color. Give it a dark one, 333. Save that. You see it becomes dark. Just gonna make the color white. Oops. I'm not really sure when they remove the pound sign and when they don't, so it's a little confusing. And so let's get started. I'm gonna just remove this hello world. Okay, I'm just gonna leave it like that for now. And let's just head over to the Bootstrap documentation and getting started. Download layout. Take a look at layout. So you can get different sort of containers, and I'm going to be placing everything in a big container, which is going to be a div.container. Okay, so this is essentially going to be the container that wraps every single thing around. And yeah, for full width container spanning the entire width of the viewport. So this is essentially different classes that you could add to get your container better. And you can add different sort of sizes such as container medium, container large, container XL. I'm just going to use XL because it's going to be like, why did I open Zoom? I'm just going to be using, my bad. I'm going to be using container XL to give it like the largest, what do you call that, largest size it can go. And then yeah, you could use media queries for other stuff. Like if you want to make this mobile responsive for like landscape phones, tablets, desktops, and big computers, you could use media queries. So I think I have them listed in another video. So please do check that out, CSS media queries. I guess I do have a video on them. If I do, I'll be including it in the cards right now. If I don't, then just check out the advanced button animations. I will have it explained in there. It's a really easy concept. So please do check that video out. I'm going to be putting this in the cards too. So yeah. So actually, you write your source CSS code in Sass. But I don't really use Sass. I just use CSS. I find that more comfortable. And layout doesn't offer you much. This is it. For Z index modal, I have never used these things too, so I don't actually know about them. And let's go to content. So we go to reboot. It's a collection of elements of specific CSS changes. So box sizing, font size, native font stack. So default web fonts are Helvetia Neue or Helvetica. I thought it was Helvetica, but apparently I'm wrong. Helvetica Neue and Arial, and they have been dropped in Bootstrap 4 with the native font stack. And basically you could customize all of this using this. However, I'm not really interested. I'm just covering these, and later we could go to the fun stuff such as putting buttons, forms, and etc. And here it starts. So let's go headings and paragraphs. I'm going to put another container, dot container, and then I'm just going to be saying h1. This is heading level 1. If you remember my HTML course, this is exactly what I did to teach you about heading levels. 6. I'm going to be linking the cards in case you don't know what heading levels are. It's going to be linked in the cards right about now. And I'm just going to change it so you can observe the difference. 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, and let's go here. So you get all these different heading levels, and oops, big mistake. I haven't actually changed these. H2, H3. So you see, all of these heading levels are different, and they might have different sort of sizes when it comes to Bootstrap, etc. But you can already see that it looks a lot neater than regular HTML content. So that's one advantage of Bootstrap. And you see lists. So they essentially have their own sets, and they're actually really nice. You could use them. So for this list, they don't exactly have the code written here right now, but I'm pretty sure I know that code, so I could help you with that. Let's just come out of the container, put an HR. That is a horizontal rule, which essentially puts a line in the page. I'm just going to create another container. Is that the place? Okay, yeah, that is container. And then I'm going to be have a sore throat. So UL, I'm just going to be starting with lorem 5, and then inside that I'm just going to put an li with lorem 6. And so if you don't know what lorem is, it essentially is an abbreviation to create some filler text or dummy text or lorem ipsum text, whatever you want to call it. So I'm just going to save this and then check the document out. So you see this UL doesn't actually have anything, and then this LI, which is inside of the UL, gets wrapped around it. Let's try OL and DL. So OL, pretty sure this is how it works. Lorem 30. That might be a lot, but let's see. Did anything just not change or something? I'm sad. Let's try DL. Lorem 5. Nested lists, they have their margin top removed. So let's try with CSS, or maybe we could do it like this. M margin top 0. Is that how it works? And the margin bottom. All lists have the margin top removed and a margin bottom or one rim. And then nested lists have more margin bottom. Apparently, I'm a really bad reader. And MB. Okay, nested lists. So what are nested lists? This is going to be a nested list here. And then MB none. So let's try that. How come this thing doesn't work? I'm getting frustrated with this. And anyway, this wasn't supposed to be here. It was supposed to be the components folder. So I'm just gonna start here. This is the most important part of the segment. I'm just gonna delete this. Apparently, I don't know why it's working. I'm sorry. I don't know every single thing when it comes to that. But so alerts essentially are messages that come onto the page. So let's just try and give an alert container. And then I'm just gonna start with the basic code of alert, give it a class of alert, and then you could put any color by specifying primary, secondary, success is green, danger is red, warning yellow, info is light blue, and then primary is dark blue, and then secondary is gray, and then yeah, and light seems to be white sort of thingy, and dark seems to be gray too, a little darker gray than the normal one. And then you have to specify a role of alert. So let's try that out. And then let's go for div with a class of alert. Wait, let's just do an alert primary. And it has a role alert. I am stupid. That was probably true. Sorry. Yeah, I see this alert popping up, and this horizontal rule is black. So let's just make that white. Why you do this to me? I feel weird. Okay, let's stop of all that act. I feel I'm getting too sappy. Let's go back to the normal one. You see, now it changes to white. And then now we find our different alerts. Okay, so now the alerts. So we could just try different sort of alerts. And with the colors, Alt Shift down. We could get the secondary. You can get this danger, warning, success, info. Okay, great. Yep, so you get all of these different pre-decided colors with all their text and their colors with their role as an alert. So these are essentially what alerts do. And it's pretty nice to work with them. And yep, so this is alerts. It doesn't actually provide any value. Or suppose when you do form validation, you might want to give a warning alert saying that you haven't filled up all these fields, etc., etc. That would actually look nice with a little bit of customization, like the link, etc., transparency, that sort of stuff. And then you can actually give links. Use alert link to provide matching color links with any alert. That sounds nice. So what you can essentially do is you could put a anchor tag with an href attribute directly into the alert and specify it with a class of alert link. I'm just going to do one example of it because we are going to be running out of time. And I'm just going to do one of it, or I'm just going to copy this. I'm just going to paste it. And then we're going to keep an a tag, href. And yeah, I'm just going to keep a slash to indicate that that's the home page. And then I'm just going to give it a class of alert link. And then I'm going to mark the stupid in between that. And I'm just going to be copying this thing for everything right here. Simple is the best way to do it. Let's find that out. Autosave essentially formats all of that for us. And yeah, you see you can actually click it, but nothing happens because it sends you back to the normal home page. And then you can have different dividers and everything and additional content. Suppose you want to do, yeah, it's actually anything like this. You could specify with an alert with a class of success and a role of alert. And then you could give it a heading. You could give it some text. You could put HR, and then you could put paragraph. So what this MB0 essentially is, it says that margin bottom is going to be 0. And to avoid further complications, I'm just going to copy this and keep it. Yeah, so what this essentially does is it has a role of alert. It's an alert, and has a color of green because of success. And then you got a class of alert heading, which essentially formats it to the particular position that's already given to alert headings. And yeah, anything like that. And this is the alert heading, after all. Then dismissing, you give it a dismissing alert, which shows that you can essentially click this, click the X, and then it disappears. So what he's doing here is alerts and then alert warning. It says that the alert is dismissible, and then it fades, and then yeah, starting it shows, and then role is an alert, and then it's essentially bold the holy guacamole, and then a guacamole. I'm not a perfect pronounce. I don't pronounce that perfectly, but that's the best you could do. And then he gives the type as the button. How do we get this back? Boom, 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 boom. I'm gonna reload this. Yep. Okay, so what he essentially does is he gives it a data dismiss of alert, which is essentially a query selector. It allows you to get that, and the class of close, and then the ARIA label of close. So it gives you this sort of indication that you have to close it, and then span of the ARIA hidden true, and then ampersand times, and then yep, and then I'm not gonna be covering these. It's not important. No badge, not breadcrumb. I'm gonna go for buttons. See, I can't do everything because it would get us stuck here for the entire day. It's gonna be doing the most important stuff. Okay, I don't think I want to be typing all of these. I'm just gonna explain them. So this button has a type of button. Say that it's a button. That's too many buttons. It's like a tongue twister of buttons. Okay, getting that. So it has a class of the BTN, which specifies button, and then you can put whatever color you want, say blue for primary. And then if you see, without any styling, it already has these hover effects. And yeah, that's essentially Bootstrap at work. And then you could generate these links with a sort of, when you hover on it, you get that underline that happens manually, but then here it gets darker. If you see, the text essentially gets darker. And so for all of these, it's really nice. And Bootstrap buttons are definitely a lot better than normal buttons, so I just copy that code and I'm gonna give it a HR here and specify containers. I don't think I actually gave them headings, did I? I'm just gonna give them headings saying H1 alerts. And then back here, nope, I don't want to open that external stuff. I'd like to say SHIT, but forget that. And then button. Very amazing. I love buttons. Okay, that might have been bad. Good. So we can disable text wrapping using Sass, but I'm not going to be covering anything related to Sass. And you could specify button tags. Suppose you could put an href. You could make an a tag into a button, or you can make a normal button a button, which is obvious. And you can make an input into button, and all of the above. So if you want to input, you can make it an input. If you want to submit, you can make it submit. If you want to reset, you can make it a reset. And yeah, you can make an anchor tag with the role of a button, make it a button. So that's nice. So it's really, really nice. It really helps you a lot. I need some water, But let's finish this up first, and then I'm going to go drink some water and be back. Or maybe not. I'm gonna make this button tags. So you see where I'm going, creating this sort of little notebook for you. So you can essentially have all of these at once, and you have a link and all of these different stuff. So an outline button, so you could specify a button, and you have to specify the outline method, or else it's just gonna come with the background color of that particular color. Okay, this is getting terrifying probably for you, so I'm gonna try and simplify my statement right now. So what essentially I'm trying to say is that if you didn't specify this outline, this color would act as a background color instead of the outline color. Now get that clear. And you see when you hover on it, it changes the outline color into a background color like last time. So yeah, this is really nice. However, on a light background, I won't advise you to actually choose this because it won't be seen at all. The light one. I'm just gonna copy this code and come right back. Doc container. Then each one of button custom outline colors. So then you could get different sizes of buttons, saying button large or button XL or button SM, that sort of stuff. And then block level button. What's a block level button? As you can see right here, it essentially stretches out to the entire full width of the parent element. So that's pretty nice. And I'm just going to type some stuff out for you. Go for a container. And then I'm just gonna button class button primary LG, and then I'm just gonna make it large. Just gonna drag this down. SM for small. Where'd that stuff and everything just go? Disappeared? That's so stupid. It should never disappear. Oh, oops. Oopsies. Oopsies, double oopsies, triple oopsies. Specified as a button primary, and btn. I did a wrong thing with these classes. They're tricky. Hence, always refer to the docs. And now you get a large button and a small button. Not going to be putting block level buttons because you essentially can know what they are in active state. The hell? So yeah, aria press equals to true gives the state where they are active, and this gives the disabled state. So when they're active and you can click on them, this is the way they appear, but I actually don't like this at all. And disabled is when suppose you have a submit button on a form, and then but you don't want it to submit yet because if it's a multi-level form or multi-step form, you might have to wait for further instructions. So you might want to disable that button until a certain event gets fired, that sort of stuff. So you could essentially do the same thing with links. And then I guess that's it that I want to actually teach you. Next we go to button groups. So it's pretty easy. I'm just going to give you a basic example, and we're not going to be exactly taking you through everything down here. You're going to be getting the drop down in forms or navs or nav bars when you get there, but either this is going to be done or I might have to make a part 2 of this. I'm not sure. I don't want to like make one video super duper long or anything. Like other tutorials that you might see online. I recently learned that there's some tutorials called Traversing Media. It's really good. I just tried checking that out. It seems amazing. And I don't want to make this pretty long, so I'm just gonna make some small stuff. So button groups. I'm gonna give it HR. I'm getting more and more tired. I don't know why. I forgot to eat my snacks. It's around 4 o'clock, 4 p.m. So this is a button group. So what this essentially does is it is essentially a group of buttons like the name suggests, and you can click on one of them. Suppose you have a nav bar and you have the buttons condensed into a tight corner. Suppose it's on mobile view and you want them condensed into a tight row. You could essentially use the Bootstrap button group. You could select one of them and it wouldn't actually matter. It'll be really nice. And that's all I want to cover in this button group. So it's not that hard. And cards are one of the best stuff in all of Bootstrap, and I use cards a lot. It's really nice. And yep, so it's giving it a class of card, and if you want to style it, you can give it a width of 18 rem, and image source of nothing, and then class of card image, and then top to specify that you want the image at the top of the card instead of anywhere else. And it gives a class of card body, and then card title, card text for the text of the card, and then title, card title for the card, title of the card, and then If you learned that, you could use button tags to make them into buttons, such as the anchor tag, input tag, or links, essentially. So you just made that into a button, and that seems to be really great. So let's just make one of our own. I want to split screen because it seems doesn't seem too convenient to go from like this to that, that to this. Give it an HR card. I'm not gonna be styling it or whatsoever. I'm just gonna jump to the body, card body, and then I'm gonna give it an H4 with a class of card title, and just say title, and then body. Nope, not body tags. I've lost my marbles there. If that's how you use that phrase. Card text. And then what essentially I'm going to put here is lorem, you guessed it. Lorem 20. And that seems an okay card. Where is it hiding? Just the card. The color is literally white. Okay, so I'm just going to make the card. If this is where you make it, I'm just going to do BG of primary. Yep. So essentially you get this primary card. I want to put it as danger. Red and white have a better contrast. So this is the text within a card body. And then a card link, another link. You put a card subtitle. I'm going to put a subtitle into here. Saying some H5 class of card subtitle. And then text secondary. Wait, is that how you do it? I'm guessing. Yeah, text secondary, but it doesn't look so good here, so I'm just gonna do primary. Yep, it gives you a blue. It doesn't look so nice here either, so success. Better, but still nah. Info probably the best, or actually light. That's actually the best right now. And images, you could just insert an image tag here and say card image and specify wherever you want that thingy to be. You could create a list of content in cards by essentially initializing a list group within a card. I'm going to be teaching you what list groups are in a second, but for now, I'm just going to be copying this. Wait, did I forget to mention cards? So yeah, I did. Apparently I did. So got a container. Copy all of this markup into there. And then I'm just going to put a H1 cards. So, yep, why no, not people. And when we see the page, essentially it's supposed to load something. Oh, it isn't supposed to load anything. I'm sorry. And you could create a list of cards. I'm just going to put that too right here after this. Okay, after that, just gonna copy the code in here. Then I'm gonna paste it here. Sorry if my voice isn't so lively right now. I'm just feel a little weird. Not weird essentially, but feel tired. It's the middle of my holidays, but I'm still tired. Background is, you don't get a background of primary, do you here? Okay, list primary, how about that? Oh, you have to get list group, then primary. Why didn't you get primary? Or maybe I'm just gonna put it in here. Card primary. That solves everything. I'm just gonna delete this. Oh, it's BG primary. It just gives a border of it as primary. Wait, what's wrong? What's wrong? I'm just gonna, oh, okay. If I put the card is essentially outlining those entire lists. So I'm just gonna try BG primary here. See if it works. Okay, it just worked. I'm just gonna be copying this. Make it some nice fancy different colors. Success. Warning. Okay, so this is pretty good. Let's go down. Kitchen sink. Now it's just combining the list group and the normal card that you're talking about. And now we could talk about an optional header and footer. And the header essentially gets a class of card header and then card footer. Oops, they didn't put a footer in here. So yeah, you can get a block quote into here to say someone famous and then this stuff. You can get a footer with a class of block quote footer to essentially say that there's going to be a block quote with someone being quoted in it because that's the purpose of a block quote. And then you could put a cite tag to essentially give it that sort of effect. And this is a classic header and footer. So I'm just going to be copying this and then pasting it into the code that we have here. So what this essentially does is I'm going to go over very quickly because it's a crash course. I don't have enough time. I'm saying it again and again, but still. So it has a card with the text of center, so it's always aligned to the center. And then it has a card header featured, which is right here. It has a card body with all of this text and a link or button. And you can get a card with a footer with the text of muted. That means this is essentially a class, but you could just mute it. You won't have any functionalities that text. So that's what this thing essentially does. And then you could wrap cards in columns and rows as needed. So you could give a class of row and then a column with how many ever samples you want. And then you could give it a class of card and then do your exact same thing here. I'm going to be going over that. Custom CSS text alignment. Not interested. Text center, text right. You could just do that. What essentially that does is it just it essentially keeps it to one side of the screen. And right now over here at the navigation, I am going to take a break. So this is going to be part 1 of the crash course. Part 2 of the crash course is going to be released soon, so wait for it. And then after that, wait converter. So thank you everyone for watching, and we'll resume here in the next episode. In case you like this sort of content, please hit the like button, subscribe to my channel, and yeah, share it with everybody else who loves coding. So have a great day and see you. This is Codinger peacing off or signing out, whatever you want to select from it. Yeah. So bye. Bye bye. Bye bye. I can't leave my fellow viewers. Okay, so bye bye. What's up guys, Codinger's back, and as you might have known in the last video, I talked about Bootstrap headings, cards, and list group items, and alerts, buttons, etc. And so today, or now, I'm going to be covering, I think, let me see, just 2 more or 3 more important items, which is going to be forms and nav bars at least right now. So I'm just going to start with forms. So yep, you need a form control. So I'm just going to go to the top. So you have rebooted form styles with classes. So this is the basic form. This is a basic password, and then checkbox, and let's see, yeah, a button saying submit. So it's pretty easy to build that. So I'm just gonna hard code all that up. Let's see. I'm just gonna give a form, no action, nothing, and give a class a form group. This essentially initializes the form. Then we can use a label, say for email. For email. Email address. Then we have to put an input, and we can use a type of email, and it needs to have a class of form control. So, and we don't actually require an ID or email help. We won't actually require that. Yeah, we could put that up, or you could put a slash and then do that. So what that basically does is it. Let me just reload this to enable live reload. Or if that doesn't enable, I'm just gonna open with live server here. That did, but it's too late. So email address, we can enter it. So when we put this, it isn't the proper email address. So this HTML form validation essentially asks us to put a normal email address. So I'm just gonna put code at pepsi.com. Yeah, you see that agrees, but it doesn't actually do anything. Oops, and then the previous one, I forgot to make the card, actually forgot to make it black, or special title treatment featured card text center. Maybe I could put a BG of danger. That could work. Yep, it works. It doesn't go too well, so I'm just gonna try info. Yeah, this is much better. And email address here, and then like you said, you could use a small class to essentially put this bit of text. You could also put a checkbox by saying input type checkbox, then form check input. And yeah, there are dozens of classes that you could use. I'm just going to put a checkbox, a basic checkbox right here, and a form group. And then in that form group, I'm actually going to make a new form group, actually. Class of form group. Okay. And then here, I'm just going to put an input type of checkbox. I think I should make a video on forms, actually, HTML forms. I'll do that too soon, maybe after this Bootstrap. And then the type of checkbox, then class of, you should put form check input as it says here. So what this essentially does is it initializes the checkbox and says it's an input, and ID is customary, so it's customary probably for customers, so it's essentially custom. So if you want an ID to select in your JavaScript, you can, but we're not doing any JavaScript here. This is just something for demo. You don't have to do it. So label, you could put a class of form check label. So these are essentially Bootstrap classes. Yeah, you put an ID for that. I'm not gonna put a for. Just check me out, or check me boy, and give some style to it. Not the CSS type style, the human type style. You see, it checks a lot better than general checkboxes, and yeah, that's essentially Bootstrap for you. Then form controls, you could put text areas, you could put drop downs, and yeah. So all of this is the power of Bootstrap, and this is something really nice. So you might want to pay attention. You could essentially get a file from, and then form control file input, and then you have to give an input of type file, and class. So I think you should be getting the hang of Bootstrap right now. I mean, you won't know exactly every class by heart, but it gives you a sort of a basic idea for what you could do. I'm just gonna select some of the don't book work. It essentially displays it here, but nothing actually happens. You need JavaScript for all that functionality. You could size it however you want. So form control LG. So I'm gonna do that here. Say, where's my form control? Where's my form? Okay, form control LG. So yeah, this makes it a lot bigger than it used to be. And let's go down. Read only. You can give a read only input here, so they can actually edit it. And yeah, you just have to put a property of read only. But most of the cases you won't actually use that. And yeah, it's essentially the same. I mean, for all these MX classes, SM classes for small margin bottom, uh, you could just check out the documentation. Example range input. So this is a sort of a slider, and it seems quite important. So I'm just gonna create another form. Div class of form group, and then I'm just gonna put a label. I just put a value of range input and input type of range. Then we put a class. So you usually tend to use Bootstrap with forms or nav bars to make them look amazing. And I'm just gonna go back here. And yeah, you see this range, it doesn't do anything like I told you. So checkboxes and radios. This is a disable checkbox, and this is the enable checkbox. So what you could do is essentially keep a disabled one. What you know what I'm just gonna do? Where's my checkbox? I'm just gonna take that checkbox, copy and paste it down. It's not actually copy and paste it, it's Alt Shift and the down arrow key, it is essentially Wait, this isn't the input. Nah, I'm just gonna do that. Make this check me, and I'm gonna keep disabled. And yeah, that essentially disables one of the checkboxes. You see the orientation isn't really proper, so it might not be doing the thing that you want it to do probably because it's disabled. You'll need a little bit of styling to get that right, but that is beyond the scope of the video. So you could put radios. I'm going to be covering that in my forms, HTML forms, form video, form row, form grid, and then it isn't really hard to do this. And state you might want to take a look at that. So it's just a select tag with an ID and a class of form control, and then you get options, that sort of stuff. It isn't really hard. So I think we're done with forms. Seems to be a lot more, but you can check all of these out. If you want form validation, you could check that out. But we're only covering the basics. We'll require an entire new video for form validation based on Bootstrap. And so I'm just gonna go quickly navigate over to navbars. Nice fun. And navbar. So we get, yeah, this is a basic navbar with a drop down menu. And this drop down menu, and so you get a nav with a class of navbar expand, LG, and navbar lite. So many classes that you could use, and you could put an A tag with an and then forgot something points. Okay, you could put an A tag to mark your destination when you click that particular thingy, and you got a button with a type of button and then data toggle of collapse, and this is pretty big. I mean, you check it out. I have the Bootstrap link in the description below, and you could get a span class. And you could, if with the class of collapse, you could essentially talk about the li being active, and then you could talk about the different 8 anchor tags that you would use for your li. So what these li's essentially are these things here. Suppose the home is an li with an anchor tag, and then the next li with an anchor tag is a link, and then the drop down, which will have a few more anchor tags, and the div. So I'm not exactly going to be doing this. I'm just going to be covering it down here. And yeah, you get different sort of navbar brands. You can get images into your navbar. And navbar bootstrap. Let's see where that gets us. It doesn't get you anywhere because it's a nav. It's enabled, so that means you can click it. It's not disabled. And then this segment is then disabled. These are enabled. And yeah, this is actually pretty easy. I might make a video on navs too, and then we get back to forms here within navs. And I'm not exactly going to be doing this because it's pretty self-explanatory. I don't have to explain anything right here. So yeah. And yeah, you could add different sort of classes. There are many things that you learn here. You could add nav with color schemes. So the entire nav will be filled with that color, dark primary. And then there's also, you could actually style it using the style tag, using inline styling. So for containers, then you could also define where you want to place it. And you fix it to the top, fix it to the bottom. Yeah, so there are all sorts of responsive behaviors that you could put, and yeah, the classes are basically similar all throughout the all throughout the Bootstrap tags, and they're basically very similar tags. And let's see. Let me see if I can actually find a list of Bootstrap classes. List of all Bootstrap classes. And Bootstrap for cheat sheet. So it's bootstrapcreative.com. Just gonna full screen this. Let's wait for it to load, and then it says get Bootstrap for cheat sheet. Yeah, this seems to be pretty nice. And they have the descriptions here, and they have where you can use them. This is for card text. We've covered that. And then for utilities, tables. Oh yeah, that reminds me, we haven't covered tables yet. So let's get back to that. Bootstrap. Go to the documentation and search tables. Okay, so we get back here for the tables. And let's go to the div, which concludes the form. So, yeah, this is probably... Wait, didn't we wrap it in a div container? We didn't, apparently. Gonna cut all of this out, put it in here. So I'll cross container, and then that will be this div, and let's create another div. Container with tables. So yeah, this is a basic example for table, and it's as simple as initializing with the class of table, type of table. I'm having trouble typing in a class of table. And fed. I wonder what that is. I haven't prepared that. Yeah, so tr is in the table row, and then th is the column. So you get the scope column. And then you get the fed again, and then you could get the body with a row. What sort of content? What sort of how many columns do you want, and what data should they contain? So that's essentially how it works. I'm just gonna copy this piece of code, paste that up here. So yeah, tr is table row. So that this, and then this th is table. Wait, th is table. Wait, I thought it was table column. Wait, th is, I think, these particular indexes or the row names here. And then td is basically the normal data that you input. I think this is table data. I don't exactly know the full form of the th. And yeah, you could put table dark to invert it. I personally like dark code-edited themes and dark tables, etc. So I'm just going to change that to dark. Let's check back here, and yep, you see the dark table up here, and I forgot to do the thing that we were supposed to do. Tables. Okay, I forgot to put an HR. And after cards, I need to put it with forms. HR. And I put an HR here too. Okay, so this is my first table. Oops, wrong link. We're gonna get that back like this. And yeah, you could get table head options with, oh, I thought it was thread. It's T head. But like, is it thread or something? That's actually a table head. I'm so sorry for that. You can make it appear differently using table head dark, table head light. So for this, I'm gonna put table head light because we have a dark body. T head light. And yeah, this looks really good. And back over here, you could put striped rows. saying table striped. I'm gonna go here, table striped. I've never experimented using this in dark theme. I'm interested to see how this goes. Yeah, it's pretty good. You see, this is darker than these two, and yeah, Bootstrap has a way of doing things. And you can put borders with table bordered. I don't want to border it. Borderless tables. I mean, according to me, this is fine. Horizontal borders are fine. Uh, Absolutely zero borders would make it suck also. And hoverable rows. Oh, this seems nice. So you could essentially do that with the table hover. Table hover. And yeah, you see how it changes its color. And yeah, it's pretty nice to actually look at it. If you want to make it small, you can put table SM. You can use contextual classes to color table rows and such, but I'm not gonna do it. Okay, it's pretty easy, like primary, secondary, success, danger, info, warning, etc. You've already done it. And yeah, if you want, you could put captions too. And list of users. So you can put a caption right under this. Captions are for noobs. Pretty nice. Actually, I'm calling myself a noob, but yep. Uh, Actually, saying that captions are for noobs in a caption might cancel each other out. Sorry, my that mathy brain is confusing everybody. And yep, those are the captions. That's it for tables. And this reminded me of tables. Let's see if it reminds me of any other stuff. Cards, input groups. In case you want to learn about drop downs, I think I would make that a small separate video. So please do put that in the comments if you want to learn drop downs. I'll put the link of this too in the description, as well as the Bootstrap documentation link and my GitHub repo with all of this code and that link too. So I hope you had a great time and learned something new with these two parts of the crash course. And I hope you learned something and enjoyed it. So thank you everybody for watching, and hit that subscribe, smash the like, and enjoy your keyboard by typing some amazing, tough, and amazing comments. If you like this video, please hit the thumbs up and tell it to everybody who loves coding. And we successfully managed to write 252 lines of HTML code. Impressive. You should be proud of yourself. And so that's it for now. And have a great day.